Well, Charlotte, can you please explain how EFT works to me?
Well, what I think EFT is a energy technique, and maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but everything is energy. Everything we see here, ourselves, our bodies, this microphone, everything is energy.
You mean you and I, we are connected through energy?
Absolutely. And the way that works, the way how I see it, is that if you put ourselves, our body or any piece of material under a big microscope, in the end you find a kind of nothingness. And the nothingness exists of little tornadoes, very tiny, miniature little tornadoes.
Wow.
And if you have a big tornado and you drive with your car and you try to drive through the big tornado, you can't, because it feels like a wall, even if you take away all the matter. So if it's only the air spinning, the air spins that fast that you cannot go drive through it, because it's kind of solid nothingness.
Yes.
And that is the way I think our bodies are made of, or the thing our bodies are made of. They're made of a kind of nothingness which forms into matter, because it's kind of little spinning miniature tornadoes.
Yeah.
And
Can you explain me what is the connection? Can you explain me what is the connection with EFT?
Yeah, sure. Because if something spins very fast, it gives an electromagnetic field, and all these tiny electromagnetic fields form one big electromagnetic field. And even in normal science, we know that a body is emitting electromagnetic radiation.
Radiating.
Yeah, it's radiating. And what we do with EFT is now the exact way why it works like that, I still don't know, but what I know we do is we are putting all these little electromagnetic fields in the right order. Because if you imagine that a big part of these little mini tornadoes are, for example, spinning around the wrong way, then the whole body gets out of balance.
Yeah.
And nothing works anymore. If you have a big torch, sometimes you have these big, huge torches with 6 batteries in it. And if 3 of the 6 batteries are the wrong way around, if 1 of the 6 batteries are the wrong way around, the torch doesn't work. It doesn't give light.
Yeah.
And it's the same with our bodies. If there's too many of these little mini tornadoes emitting the wrong or a negative or the wrong way around radiation, in other words, if they're spinning the other way around and they're with the wrong polarity, it means that the whole system doesn't work very well.
Yeah. So that means that you are resetting the batteries when you're treating somebody, or how does that work?
Exactly, that's what I do.
Okay.
And it's not even that I reset the batteries, it's that I teach people to reset their batteries. That's why we have people saying the statements and saying the setup phrase loud, because there is a connection between what we say and the act of forming the words in your mouth and the effect that has on your whole system.
That's easily said, but how do you go about resetting batteries in people?
Well, that's what EFT is about. What we do is, with the setup phrase, we open kind of the door. It's like opening the battery department. If you have battery departments with little screws, and then you can say, well, I want to put the batteries right, but you can't, because there's a little screw there. So the setup phrase we use, like I deeply love and accept myself, or deeply and completely love and accept myself, and tapping the carrot shop or the sore spot here, makes that we open the battery compartment. And when the battery compartment is open, in other words, if the body is ready to accept any resetting of batteries, then we go through the normal EFT sequence. And for children, I use a little bit of different sequence. I use a 4-point sequence.
In what way is it treatment with children different?
Well, I do it shorter, oftentimes, or I do surrogate tapping for them, or I tap on them, or I tap on myself, having the child on my lap. But I often use a short sequence, so I only use 4 points. And with adults I often use a sequence of 7 or 8 points. And I was just mentioning surrogate tapping. The funny thing is that when I reset my batteries, and when I'm very aligned and balanced in my body, it means that I'm radiating a very strong, positive electromagnetic field. Well, as you know, when you have a strong magnet and you keep it next to a little piece of iron, the little piece of iron also gets magnetic.
Yeah, it will kind of adapt the same. It will kind of adapt the same radiation.
Exactly, and that's what happens. So when I have a child and I'm tapping on myself, so I'm resetting my own batteries, I'm aligning my own energy field, it means that the child, more often than not, just goes with the flow and has his own little batteries reset, and many problems subside. It's emotions, it's pain, it's frustration, it's I work a lot with hyperactive kids and with ADD kids, and it's amazing how fast, they are often very sensitive kids, and it's amazing how fast this resetting procedure kicks in, and how strongly it changes their behavior and their feelings, because they themselves say that they feel completely different after being reset.
If you say that it's amazing to see how quick they respond, can you also tell me how long it can take for a treatment?
Well, often the first treatment with adults takes an hour, but that's because we talk about it, I explain a little bit, and listening is a big part of the game. I want to know, so like puzzling and really searching for the core issue is big part of the treatment. And if I find the underlying cause for the misalignment, for the being out of polarity of the body, and often it's something which happened in the early youth. More often than not, it's something which happens before somebody gets 6 years old, because we live in this mystic world before we are 6 years old. We cannot understand things, we don't have the language yet. So we make an interpretation of things which happen in a kind of magical way. And all these interpretations are written on our hard disk. And they are our subconscious programs. And this subconscious programming is for a big part in our later life, the programming which makes that we react as we do, or that we feel as we do, or that we think as we do.
Could you say also then that to some extent EFT is also reformatting your hard disk, or maybe just a compartment of your hard disk?
Oh no, it's reformatting your hard disk, absolutely. It's cleaning up your hard disk, it's taking all the rubbish out. What it does is we all have memories, because that's being a human. We have a head full of memories. Or a heart.
Life would be very difficult, isn't it, if we didn't have a memory?
Exactly. But the problem, or the challenge, is that every memory has an emotional charge on it. And if it's a positive emotional charge, there's no problem, because we don't suffer from it. But if it's a negative emotional charge, we suffer from it, but we also relive the memory every time something happens which is even vaguely similar, which makes us think of it. And that way the memory gets more and more charged, negatively charged. And these heavily negatively charged memories are kind of big bricks we are carrying in our backpack our whole life. And what EFT does, it doesn't take away the memories, but it takes away the charge. So by resetting the batteries, the flow can go where it should go, and all the blocked energy systems where these memories, or where the energetic charge of these memories got stuck, we kind of unplug that, and it's literally like taking out a plug of a sink, and the charge can just flow. Exactly, goes down the drain. The memory stays, and the memory has no charge anymore, not positive, not negative, and that means that you can much